You've got that MBA interview invite in hand, but what you may not know is that there is one question that will almost single-handedly determine your fate in that MBA interview. Today, I'm going to tell you what that question is and how to ace it. Welcome back to MBA Monday. I'm Angela, your MBA coach, your career coach, and someone who is committed to helping you achieve your MBA dreams, build a career you love, and ideally master the process of interviewing while you're on this journey. I love interviews so much. I've written an entire book about it. If you haven't read it, check it out at the link in the description below. But today I'm going to tell you about the most important question to have a really thoughtful answer to in your MBA interview. If you've been following along with this series, I've already talked about the first and therefore in some ways most important question in your MBA interview. You can check it out at that link if you haven't seen that video already. I also laid out the 4 major question types that you're going to encounter in just about any MBA interview. And I'm going to lay those out again today, and then I'm going to have you guess which one you think is the very most important. What is that one question that is deciding your fate? And then, of course, I'll tell you what that question is and how to answer it. So if you're going into an MBA interview with nearly any MBA program, the programs I'm going to exclude from the list of nearly every MBA interview are Harvard, Wharton, and London Business School. If you're interviewing with any of those 3 schools, this question may be important, but it's not going to be as important as it will be for nearly every other school that you're interviewing for. There's a pattern to all of these MBA interviews, and nearly every interview is going to encompass 4 question types. The first question is the tell me about yourself. It's that plenary question that allows you to introduce yourself to the interviewer and make yourself known. This question is super important because it comes first and it sets the tone for the whole conversation, as I described in this other video. The second type of question you're going to get are questions about your past experiences in the form of a story. We call these behavioral interview questions, and they sound something like, tell me about a leadership experience, tell me about a time you led a team, tell me about a time you overcame a failure. If you want to really deep dive into these questions, please check out my book, link in the description below. Then there's the third type of question, and this is the point blank question. This is not so much a story. They're really just asking you to respond to a quick question about your values, your opinions, your beliefs, or just some facts about your life. Questions like, what's your greatest weakness? Or what's your leadership style? Or tell me one thing you wish you had known before you started your job. It's where the answer is going to be pretty short, pretty direct, and although you might want to add some additional context and additional color commentary, your goal is to really just get right to the point and answer that question. The fourth question type that you're going to see in the majority of MBA interviews are questions about your future. So this is a question like, what are your goals? Why do you want an MBA? Why do you want to go to our school? I lump all of those into that last category of future-based questions because it's not about the past. It's really about where you're headed and how this MBA program is going to help you get there. So if you're playing along with me, type in the chat box and tell me which interview question you think is the one kind of question that's really determining your fate. Okay, if you were really fast, you got there. If you're not playing along or if you didn't type it in, I'm going to tell you the answer right now. And that is question type number 4. It's questions about your future, about your goals, about why you need an MBA, and about why you want to go to this program. That set of questions will determine your fate in that interview more than any other question or question type, for the simple reason that schools really, really, really care about fit. They really want to make sure that you are attending their program with the right motivations and the right expectations. Now, while they may have asked you to write about this in one of your essays, that's your personal statement essay, the primary way that they're gauging school fit is actually in this interview. And there are a lot of features to school fit, like charisma, like presence, like likability and trust. All of that is happening behind the scenes. I made a whole video about that. You can check it out right here. It's super, super important that you go in and just really connect with your interviewer and not be worrying about getting it perfect or getting the answer right. You really want to make an emotional connection. But in terms of the substance of your answers, your answer to what are your goals, why do you want an MBA, and why do you want to go to this school are going to be the most important feature of that interview. So my recommendation is that you spend double the time preparing for these questions as you would for any other questions. You want to make sure that your answers are robust, deep, well-researched, thoughtful, and personal to you. There are 4 boxes that your answers to these questions altogether need to check. Number 1, they need to show that you're going to business school for the right reasons. This means that you need to have a set of goals that really makes the MBA a necessary step en route to your success and not just a vanity degree that's going to give you some kind of ego boost. You need to think through your goals and be able to show that the MBA is a necessary step on your future path. The second box your answers need to check is that you need to show that you have the right expectations for what the MBA program can deliver. That means you need to have thought through exactly what your goals are, how you're going to attain them, and exactly how you're going to use the MBA specifically to make that transition. This means you have to have credibly understood where you're already qualified for the jobs that you want and where you might need to fill in some gaps, and that you understand what the MBA can and cannot do for you on that journey. The third box that your answers need to check is that they need to show that you've really done your research. They really need to believe that you have really looked in depth into the course offerings and clubs and culture of the specific program you're interviewing with. If I could take the word Kellogg out of your answer to why do you want to go to Kellogg and insert the word booth, and the answer would still make sense, you are not checking this box. Your answer needs to show them really specific aspects of their offerings and culture that match you, your background, your goals, your plans, and your personality. This is where the intangibles of school fit really come into play. And then the fourth box that your what are your goals, why do you need an MBA, and why our school answers as a whole need to check is that it needs to show the admissions committee that this school is your top choice. Now, this one is the trickiest because the truth is you probably do have a top choice. And if the school you're interviewing with genuinely is your number one choice, go ahead and say that. But for the most part, saying a school is your top choice is really kind of cheap talk. And just saying it will mean very little, whether it's true or not. How you're going to show them that this school is your top choice is by doing a really good job of checking the first 3 boxes and showing very specifically how this program uniquely is going to help you achieve your goals. And you'll do that by highlighting specific aspects of the program that really make this school uniquely qualified and suited to help you on your journey. That doesn't mean that you need to say anything against or in comparison to other schools. In fact, I discourage you from doing that. There's no need to bring any other schools into the conversation. Really just focus on what's great about this school and why it's uniquely positioned to help you on the journey of your future career in leadership. And if you'd like to download our interview readiness checklist designed specifically for MBA applicants, you can grab that at this link right here on the screen and in the description below. This last week, we're waiving the fee for that resource so that you can do your very best to prepare for your MBA interviews without incurring any additional costs. That said, I'd love to work with you directly on your interview. So if you've got a little budget and you want help from a coach, even directly from me, head over to mbaprotocol.com/MBA and request a call. There's still a few more interview invites to be released in the round 2 deadline season, so I am wishing you the very best. I hope you get that interview invite. I hope you convert that interview invite. I'm really wishing you every success on your MBA application journey. Check out this video that has a surefire tip that will improve your MBA interview performance and confidence. The one... Still a few more invites, but check out this interview right here. Did I say check out this interview? Check out this video. How many times can I say the word interview in a short video? Did I say video that time? I don't know.